Have you noticed that most people don't fail because they're weak? They fail because they can't control themselves. Not because they lack talent. Not because they lack intelligence. But because every distraction feels more comfortable than discipline. One notification, one excuse, one more day of procrastination. And slowly, their potential dies in silence. Meanwhile, the people who seem unstoppable aren't always smarter. They've simply mastered one thing: self-discipline. More than 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius wrote powerful lessons about controlling the mind, mastering emotions, and becoming mentally unbreakable. His words weren't written for comfort. They were written for war. The war inside yourself. In this video, you'll discover 10 Stoic principles that can transform your habits, sharpen your focus, and help you build the kind of discipline that changes your entire life. Because once you learn to rule your mind, nothing outside of you can control your future. And trust me, the final principle may completely change the way you see yourself forever. Principle 1. Control your mind before you control your life. Most people wake up and immediately lose control of their minds. They check their phones, compare themselves to strangers, absorb negativity, react emotionally to everything. Before the day even begins, their peace is already gone. Stoicism teaches something radically different. Your mind must obey you, not the world. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That single realization can change everything. Think about it. Every bad habit begins in the mind first. Discipline is not physical at the beginning, it's mental. The gym is hard because the mind says, "Stay comfortable." Studying feels painful because the mind wants pleasure. Waking up early feels impossible because comfort feels safer than growth. But the Stoics understood that the moment you stop obeying every emotion, you become dangerous in the best possible way. Your feelings are temporary. Your impulses are temporary. But the person you become through discipline can last forever. The strongest people are not emotionless. They simply don't allow emotions to control their actions. And that's what separates average people from extraordinary ones. If this mindset already speaks to something inside you, subscribe to the channel. These lessons aren't just motivation. They're tools for mastering yourself in a distracted world. Principle 2. Embrace discomfort daily. Modern life trains people to avoid discomfort at all costs. Food arrives instantly. Entertainment never stops. Distractions are available every second. And slowly, people become weaker without realizing it because comfort is addictive. The Stoics intentionally practiced discomfort, not to suffer, but to grow stronger. They understood a brutal truth: if you cannot handle discomfort, you cannot handle greatness. Every meaningful transformation requires pain. The athlete suffers through exhausting training. The entrepreneur sacrifices sleep and certainty. The disciplined student studies while others waste time. Growth has always demanded discomfort. But here's the problem. Most people negotiate with pain. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not in the mood. I deserve a break. And one excuse becomes a lifestyle. Imagine two versions of yourself. One version chooses comfort every day. The other chooses temporary discomfort for long-term freedom. 5 years later, their lives will look completely different. This is why Stoicism teaches voluntary hardship, cold showers, early mornings, silence, discipline, patience, not because suffering is magical, but because discomfort trains your mind to stop panicking when life becomes difficult. The moment you stop running from discomfort, you start becoming powerful. Principle 3. Stop waiting to feel motivated. This may hurt to hear, but motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel exhausted, doubtful, and empty. If your discipline depends on emotion, your success will always be temporary. The Stoics never trusted motivation. They trusted commitment, and that changes everything. Most people believe disciplined people feel inspired all the time. That's a lie. Disciplined people often feel tired too. They just act anyway. That's the difference. The writer writes when uninspired. The athlete trains when exhausted. The focused person works even when distractions scream for attention. Why? Because they understand that action creates momentum, not feelings. Waiting to feel ready is one of the most dangerous traps in modern life. Years disappear while people wait for perfect conditions. But life rewards movement. There will never be a perfect moment. No magical day. No sudden burst of permanent motivation. There is only the decision to act now. And once you understand that discipline is doing what must be done regardless of mood, you unlock a level of mental freedom most people never experience. Because now your emotions no longer decide your future. You do. Principle 4. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Your attention is your most valuable currency. Whatever controls your attention controls your life. And today, millions of people are losing their focus every single hour without realizing it's social media. Constant scrolling, notifications, endless entertainment. People are mentally exhausted not because they work too hard, but because their minds never rest. The Stoics valued silence and reflection because they understood the danger of a distracted mind. A distracted person cannot build discipline. A distracted person cannot think clearly. A distracted person becomes reactive instead of intentional. Look around. Most people can't sit alone with their thoughts for 5 minutes. They need constant stimulation. But discipline is built in silence. In the moments when nobody is watching. In the moments when you resist distraction. In the moments when you stay focused while everyone else loses control. Protecting your attention means learning to say no to useless drama. No to constant comparison. No to habits that slowly destroy your focus. Because every time you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. And once your mind becomes focused, your entire life starts moving in a different direction. If you're serious about becoming mentally stronger and more disciplined, subscribe and join this journey. One powerful idea can completely redirect a person's future. Principle 5. Accept responsibility for your life. One of the hardest truths in Stoicism is this: nobody is coming to save you. Not society, not luck, not perfect timing. Your life changes the moment you stop blaming everything outside yourself. This doesn't mean life is fair. It isn't. People suffer. People struggle. People face pain they never deserved. But Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond. And that response determines who you become. Weak minds blame endlessly. Strong minds adapt. Every excuse feels comforting in the moment. But excuses quietly destroy self-respect. Because deep down, you know when you're avoiding responsibility. You know when fear is disguised as procrastination. You know when comfort is stealing your future. And the painful part is this: the longer you avoid responsibility, the heavier life becomes. But something powerful happens when you finally take ownership. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop acting helpless. And suddenly, your energy changes. Now you become someone who acts. Someone who builds. Someone who endures. That is the mindset of a disciplined person. Not perfection. Not superiority. Responsibility. Principle 6. Master your emotions before they master you. Most people ruin opportunities because they cannot control temporary emotions. Anger destroys relationships. Fear destroys dreams. Impulses destroy discipline. One emotional moment can create years of regret. The Stoics believed emotions themselves were not the enemy. The real danger was becoming enslaved by them. Think about how many people react instantly to everything. Someone insults them, they explode. Something goes wrong, they panic. Life becomes difficult, they quit. But emotional control is power. Imagine staying calm while others lose control. Imagine remaining focused during chaos. Imagine refusing to let anger or fear dictate your actions. That level of self-mastery is rare. And rare people change the world. Stoicism teaches you to pause before reacting. To observe emotions without immediately obeying them. Because emotions are like weather. They come, they go, but they should never control the direction of your life. Self-discipline is impossible without emotional discipline. The person who controls their emotions controls their habits. The person who controls their habits controls their future. And once you realize that peace is a form of strength, you stop wasting energy proving yourself to everyone around you. Principle 7. Build discipline through small daily actions. Most people fail because they underestimate small actions. They wait for massive transformation, massive motivation, massive breakthroughs. But life rarely changes overnight. Instead, your future is built quietly through repeated daily decisions. One workout, 1 hour of focus, one disciplined choice, again and again and again. The Stoics understood consistency better than most modern people. They knew character is built through repetition. Not intensity for one day, but discipline across many days. A single disciplined action may seem small, but repeated daily, it becomes identity. And identity changes everything. Once you start seeing yourself as disciplined, your behavior begins to align with that belief. This is why tiny habits matter. Making your bed, reading instead of scrolling, waking up when the alarm rings, keeping promises to yourself. These moments appear insignificant, but they teach your mind something powerful. I am someone who follows through. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. Not fake confidence, real confidence, the kind built through evidence. So stop obsessing over perfection. Focus on consistency, because small disciplined actions eventually create unstoppable people. Principle 8. Learn to be alone without feeling lonely. One of the greatest weaknesses today is the inability to be alone. People fear silence. They fear stillness. They fear facing their own thoughts. So they stay distracted constantly. But the Stoics saw solitude differently. To them, solitude was training. A place where clarity grows. A place where discipline strengthens. A place where you reconnect with yourself. Some of the most important battles in life happen internally. Not publicly, not dramatically, quietly, when nobody is watching. Can you stay focused alone? Can you resist distractions alone? Can you continue improving without external validation? That is true discipline, because external praise is temporary, but inner strength lasts. The world constantly pressures people to seek approval, more likes, more validation, more attention, but the disciplined person learns something liberating. You do not need everyone to understand your journey. You only need to remain committed to it. And once you become comfortable alone, something incredible happens. You stop chasing people. You stop performing constantly. You stop abandoning yourself for acceptance. Now your discipline comes from purpose, not applause. And that changes your entire energy. If these Stoic lessons are helping you see yourself differently, subscribe to the channel and become part of a community focused on growth, self-mastery, and inner strength. Principle 9. Remember that time is running out. Most people live as if they have unlimited time. They delay the dreams, delay discipline, delay becoming who they know they could become. But Stoicism constantly reminds us of one uncomfortable truth. Life is temporary. Marcus Aurelius reflected often on death, not to become fearful, but to become intentional. Because when you truly understand time is limited, distractions lose their power. Suddenly, petty drama feels meaningless. Excuses feel embarrassing. Wasting your potential feels painful. You begin asking different questions. Who am I becoming? What kind of life am I building? What will happen if I continue living this way for the next 5 years? These questions force honesty, and honesty creates transformation. The reality is brutal. One day, your opportunities will disappear. One day, your energy will fade. One day, your life will end. And that realization can either terrify you, or awaken you. The disciplined person uses mortality as fuel. Not panic, not anxiety. Urgency. Because every day matters. Every habit matters. Every decision matters. And once you stop assuming you have endless time, you finally begin living with purpose. Principle 10. Become the person you admire. Here is the final Stoic principle, and perhaps the most important one of all. Stop asking, how do I become successful? Start asking, who do I need to become? Because everything changes when identity changes. Most people focus only on outcomes. Money, status, recognition. But Stoicism focuses on character. Who are you when life becomes difficult? Who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when temptation appears? That is your true identity. Marcus Aurelius believed that your character is your greatest possession. Not wealth, not fame, not power. Character and self-discipline is the process of shaping that character intentionally. Every disciplined action becomes a vote for the person you want to become. Every moment of restraint builds strength. Every moment of focus builds clarity. Every moment of courage builds confidence. Eventually, you stop pretending to be disciplined. You become disciplined. And that transformation affects every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your mindset, your future. So don't wait for a new year. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until life forces you to change. Start now, because the person you become over the next few years depends on the decisions you make today. And deep down, you already know what must be done. Conclusion: self-discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Freedom from distractions. Freedom from emotional chaos. Freedom from becoming controlled by temporary impulses. The Stoics understood that mastering yourself is the highest form of power. Not controlling others, not dominating people, but conquering the weakness within. And the beautiful part is this: every single day gives you another chance to begin again. Another chance to choose discipline over excuses, focus over distraction, growth over comfort. So as you leave this video, remember, your future is not created by motivation. It is created by the habits you repeat daily. And the moment you learn to control yourself, your entire life begins to change.